Hello everyone, today our topic is aggregation in Java. So what is this aggregation in Java? If a class have an entity reference, it is known as aggregations. Aggregation represent has a relationship. So we can say that in our Java class, if we have a reference class inside that, for example, we have a class employee. Inside this class employee, we have another reference of another class address. Then this employee has a address, so it is the example of the aggregations. So in aggregations we have a reference of another class inside a class. So we have this address class in which we have this city and country, and we have the reference of this address class inside the employee class. So this is the one of the example of the aggregations. So what is the use of this aggregation? It improves the code reusability. So we can reuse the code again and again. Let's see this aggregation with the help of an example. Suppose we have a, suppose first we will create a class address.java. Inside this address we have private city, string city. Then we have private string country. And what we can do here is we can create the constructor of this class. Yes, so we have the constructor of this class, and then we will create another class, new class, and name of this class is employee details, and it has public static void main method as well. So inside this class, suppose I have a field private int id, then we have private string name, and after that we have private address. We have the reference of address here. Employee has a address. So we inside this employee details class we have the address of the employee as a reference. So it is the example of the aggregations or has a relationship. Now what we will do, we will create the constructor of this employee detail. We have the constructor of this employee detail. And we will create one more method, display, for displaying the value. Public method display, and this display method will display the values of system.out.println id equal to id. And here we have name, then we have city. What we can do here is we can address dot, we have to create the getters of this address so that we can get the values. what we will do, we will create the getters. And for that we will click here, city and country. Okay, so we will remove the setters, we do not need that, and we need the getter here. Address.get city, then we have country, country address dot get country. So this display method will display the all the values of this employee detail class, and this employee detail class consists of address. Now what we will do, first we will create the object of this address class. Address equal to new address. Here we will pass first name is city is Chandigarh, and country is India. So now we have the reference of this address. What we can do, when we will create the employee details object of this employee details e is equal to new employee details. Here what we can do, first we have to pass the id is 101, then we have name is Anil, and after that we have to pass the address. So what we will do, we will pass the reference of this address here. Employee details, employee details, id, name and address. Employee details. Now what I will do, I will create the display method of this class in order to display all the values. So let's see the output. Right click, run as Java applications. Here as you can see that id is 101, name is Anil, city is Chandigarh, and country is India. So we inside this employee detail class we have the another object of another or reference of another class as address. So this employee has a address. So this is the example of the aggregation. This is example of the aggregations. Now what we can do, suppose we want to create one more object. If we want to create one more object, then address a is equal to new address, and inside this address what we can change the, suppose city name is XYZ, country is India, and we will create one more employee detail class. We will copy this, we will paste it here, e2 112 ABC, and address is this. What we will do, we will again e2 dot display. So let's rerun it again and see the output. Yes, as you can see that our next record will be displayed on the screen. Oh, we have to pass our address here. Yes, now we have ID 101, name ABC, city XYZ, and India. This is my another update. This is my first employee. This is my second employee. So this was the example of the aggregations. So in aggregations, if a class have a entity reference, then that is known as aggregations, and it has a relationship. So thank you for watching.